On day 6 of our cruise on the Majestic Princess, we went to Ketchikan, Alaska. As we sailed in, we really enjoyed the seaplanes taking off and landing. And we noticed that many of the buildings are built on stilts in this city, which is kind of cool. As we exited the ship, we found out we were in berth 2, and there were many different excursions there holding signs for people to know where to go if you had a shore excursion planned. We had booked a private shore excursion with a place called Wild Wolf Tours, and I will put all of their information in the description below. We went on a 3-hour Rainforest walk and Totem Park tour with them. And it was a really great tour. We really enjoyed it.
They look a lot like whitetail deer from the lower 48, but they have a black stripe up their tail there. On the entirety of this island, we only have about 6 inches to 2 feet of topsoil, and underneath that is our bedrock layer. So you'll see those houses in downtown built right on top of that bedrock layer. But trees in this area, they can't anchor themselves down with a taproot. They have to spread their roots out super far, and they'll intermingle their root systems with their neighbors. So they're all, holding hands, singing Kumbaya through the high winds that we get here in the winter months. This tree here is the western red cedar. It had a lot of cultural importance with the Native American tribes of that area, those being the Tsimshian, the Tlingit, and the Haida. They would take the bark of this tree and weave it into rainproof clothing. The bark has an oil in it that is naturally water resistant as well as bug resistant, as well as the wood of the tree. So anything that was going to be outside for a long period of time would be made out of red cedar. And the women of the tribes were so skilled in weaving the bark of the tree that they could make, rain parkas that deflect water, hats that deflect water, kayak spray skirts, all kinds of things like that. That was very important to surviving and thriving in this area back in the day. But this is called stair-step moss, and each one of these little pads represents a year of growth. So it's 23, 23 years old.
Wow.
An hour past low tide. We would have had a pretty low, so we probably would have saw the other shelf. It probably would have been about 10 feet lower than it is now.
After exploring for a while, we returned on the hike to the van and a snack of smoked salmon dip and crackers, which was really good. And then it was on to the Totem Park. They had a little store here too with some cute items and a restroom break, of course, and free coffee if we wanted it.
The animals that we're seeing on this totem pole here would be essentially like the mascots of the various clans of the tribes of this area. So at the very bottom of the pole, you have a beaver, and then this is a wolf here. This would be a watchman of the wolf clan, sitting on top of the wolf. And then here, this is an owl, and then this is a killer whale. Just like this one, depending on the size, alongside the chief and the chief's wife, which would be called the mother of the house. This culture was a matriarchy, so your family lineage would get passed down through your mother's side, as well as like the chief would be advised by the mother of the house. Everybody would listen to the wisdom of the women. Down here is the fire ring, where you share your cooking duties as well as doing traditional dances around the fire. And then above it is the smoke hole, which would act as like a chimney. Traditionally, it would be carved or covered by like a cedar bark blanket or a fur or hide, so you wouldn't get any rain, dripping down on your food or your fire. Prepare for those potlatches, you would have to smoke and dry out salmon to preserve it, so you could have it 1 to 2 years later, because it would take so long to prepare for those potlatches. When the indigenous people of this area got access to like the trade with the settlers, they would gain access to barrels and saltpeter, and then you could take massive slabs of salmon and bury it in salt. And then that was a much more efficient way of drying out your salmon for the later years.
The tour was really educational and so interesting. And the guide was even a local native, so he had so much information to give. And then it was back into Ketchikan to explore a little bit. And Ketchikan is very easy to walk, so if you don't have an excursion plan, this is an area you could easily navigate on your own. There's a really cool place called Creek Street, which was once a red light district in the 1920s. And this was a place with a lot of prostitution and bootleggers. The fishermen would come here to visit. And there's also still Dolly's house, where you can tour an actual real prostitution house of the early 1920s. Creek Street is actually built right over the water, which is a pretty common theme for most of Ketchikan, because they didn't want to blast directly into the rock with dynamite. So there's a lot of buildings built on stilts. In this area of Creek Street, there's a lot of cute little shops to look through and some darling little restaurants. So it's a great place to explore and just look around and find out more about the area and Ketchikan, as well as salmon, which is a huge theme of this whole town. And then we were getting hungry, so we went to go look for a good place to eat.
We would like a banana split and one brie, apple, and honey.
Banana split, apple and honey.
This is brie, apple, honey. Brie, apple, and honey. Really hot. I can taste the brie on there. You had the banana split?
Banana split.
Banana split. Let me look inside. Yummy. There's a banana.
So we just got done eating at the Alaska Crepe Company, and we were hungry. We wanted just some kind of little snack, and it was really good. They were very hot. It didn't take too long. I would say maybe 10 minutes to get our crepes. They were a little busy when we first walked in. The only thing, the flavors were great. I thought it was a little expensive for what we got. It was like $14 each, I think. The amount of filling in there was pretty small, and it kind of goes down because they give it to you in a little pocket so you can carry it with you if you want to take it to go. So the filling out kind of sinks down to the bottom, so you're eating a lot of plain crepe at first until you get down to the filling, which is a pretty small amount, I thought, for what you pay, but it was phenomenal. It was really good flavor and everything. So, and this is the only location. They don't have them anywhere else in Alaska, and it's family owned, so, you know, I don't mind paying a little extra to support a family business, but yeah, it is just a little spending maybe. It was good. As we started walking back toward the ship, we noticed the logging show, which is also an excursion which a lot of people partake in, which is supposed to be really fun. Maybe next time. And a lot of salmon for sale. And we decided to try to find a souvenir to bring back, because this was our last day of shopping in Alaska. So we looked and found a lot of different shops and restaurants right near the ships. What a great day we had in Ketchikan, and then it was time to go back to the ship, the Majestic Princess. We were excited to watch the sail away and our last glimpses of an Alaskan town. Hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please consider liking and subscribing. It really helps our channel. And we have a few more videos coming out in this series on Alaska, so stay tuned, including our ship tour. Thanks so much, we really appreciate it.